What's going on, investors? Dust here from Investments. Today I want to bring you part 2 of the video I made yesterday about DeFi. So after making the video yesterday, I rewatched it and saw I left a couple things out. So I wanted to go back, touch a little bit on those. Plus I also wanted to add a couple little tips and tricks and some strategies to look for. So just thought I'd make a part 2 to this video, so I can help you guys out along the way. So like always, we like to give a special thanks out to our Patreon supporters. So a special thanks to these fine folks right here. And we also like to promote the Discord. So join up on the Discord. We've got a growing community. And especially if you're in DeFi, because we're pretty active in that space right now. Otherwise, crypto in general. Lots of activity. So first thing I want to show you is I want to cover some of the things I forgot to cover yesterday. So one of the things I showed you is how to add liquidity to some of these pools. I didn't show you how to harvest your profits, and I also didn't show you how to remove your liquidity when you're done and when you want to get out. So typically, if you go on the left and see the home page, it will show you how much you have harvested and you can collect. But then it'll also show you how much you have in your wallet. So currently I have harvested 0.003 Panther. This is sitting in my wallet. If I were to collect my harvested Panther, it would go into my wallet and it would ask for a transaction. Currently I don't have any to harvest because it's on a 2-hour cycle here. So I can only harvest every 2 hours. But what you would do is you would click here. It would pop up on MetaMask. And sometimes if MetaMask doesn't pop up, so you want to click the puzzle piece and then click on MetaMask and it'll pop up for you. Sometimes it just doesn't show up and you need to force it to show up. But you would click there, harvest, and then you would click confirm to confirm the transaction. And it would basically go from this site to your wallet. And then you would have it in your wallet. Then what you would go ahead and do is you would take that to the exchange and you'd find your Panther. So this is the Panther I harvested and now is in my wallet. And I like to put it at the top and then you click how much you want to sell. So I just hit max, which would give me 0.016 BNB. Let's just sell one Panther for fun. I'll do 1.6, get rid of my fractions. And that would equate to BNB of 0.027. You can also trade it for other coins. For instance, I could trade it for BUSD if I wanted. And that would be almost $1 worth of BUSD. You can trade it for plenty of other coins, especially on pancakeswap. And then you would just hit swap. It would ask you to confirm your transaction. And then MetaMask is going to ask you to confirm your transaction. And then you're going to wait for confirmation. And there you go. There's my confirmation. So now my balance should go to 8. And that increased by 0.974 BUSD. So when you're all done or you want to exit a farm, you're going to have your liquidity staked in one of these farms. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to withdraw your liquidity. So you're going to be withdrawing Panther/BNB LP that you have staked here. Then you're going to need to break it up into this 2 separate parts that we had put together before. So I'm going to hit the minus sign and I'm going to want to withdraw all my LP. You can do however much you want. Let's say I wanted to do half, you can do that. And you're going to confirm your transaction. You do want to be mindful of these fees. Sometimes if it's erroring out, you'll see a very high fee. If you happen to see a very high fee, don't proceed with the transaction. Try to go back and troubleshoot it and see what the issue is. I've seen it where one of them, for instance, I claimed tokens off an NFT that I owned, and the first time it went through. But if I were to do it again, that transaction fee was almost like a half of a BNB token. So if I would have confirmed that on accident without realizing, I would have spent a lot of gas fees for nothing. So you can see I withdrew my Panther/BNB LP that I had staked, and now it is currently in my wallet. So I'm going to go to trade, and I'm going to go to liquidity, and it should show up here. Let it load, and there it is. Sometimes it will not show up, and what you'll need to do in those instances is you'll need to import it, and you need to select the 2 tokens that you have. Now, you can see Panther's not showing up, so what I could do is I could type in Panther and see if it shows up. It does. Or you might need to copy and paste the contract address. And once it finds that pool, so pool found, you back out, and then it should appear right there in your liquidity. So here's the liquidity I have, and what we want to do is we want to remove it. So we already unstaked it, now we're going to remove the individual parts of it. So we're going to click remove, and how much do you want to do? I want to do all of it, so I'm going to go max, and it'll show you what you're going to get. So for separating that LP token that I had, I'm going to get 5.449 Panther, and I'm going to get 0.0093297 BNB. Then you're going to go ahead and approve, sign that, remove. And you need to confirm, and confirm again on MetaMask. And my transaction was submitted, so I will close this, and we'll wait for it to confirm. And it's confirmed. So now my balance, LP tokens in my wallet, is 0. And my Panther holdings should have gone up by 5.4, and my BNB holdings should have gone up by 0.09, and you can see it in my wallet. So that's one of the things I wanted to cover that I felt like I missed yesterday. I wanted to show you how to get out, because I felt like it's pretty important if I'm going to show you how to get in. Yeah, you could have reversed the steps and got out, but I just wanted to make sure I showed you that. So sometimes you might want to get out is, let's say you're taking a look at the chart and you're noticing, let's see if I can find a chart. Hey, the price is dropping here. I want to get out. So maybe we're sitting right here and it's pretty critical time. You got this low here and you start dropping below this low. Well, you probably want to get out of the way. And that's not to say you can't re-enter, but sometimes you just want to get out of the way so you don't lose more money, especially if you got in at around this price. You probably want to get out of the way. So that'd be a time that you'd want to cash out, pull your LP, potentially split it apart, and then wait to re-enter the market. What you like to see is you like to see stable flat lines, or at least a range, or an uptrend. So one of the other things I did want to cover is I wanted to cover a couple like tips and strategies, I guess. And one of the things I wanted to say was there's a lot of these little projects and they're terrible, absolutely terrible. They die within 1 or 2 days, and you need to be careful of this. So one of the things I specifically look for is the market cap. I do not like to see something under $100,000. To me, those are very high risk because potentially there's not a lot of liquidity to get your money out. So if you're talking about investing a good amount, well, you're not going to be able to get your money out because you're going to be the only one with money in here. So look at this one. This one, farming, was opened up on May 23rd, so 2 days ago. And price is already down to 0.005, and look how low the market cap is, $373. So if you put money in here, you'd probably never be able to get it out. It'd just be evaporating. And let's look at the price chart. So this is something I did want to show you. This is pretty typical. This is the pre-launch, and this is probably when farming started. And from there, you had a little bit of a steady path here, where you were playing in the price range between 30 to 50-ish a couple times. But after that, it just trickled down and trickled down and trickled down. And although this looks pretty flat, it is not flat at all. And it just keeps going down. So this is just a huge downtrend over the past 2 days. And this is what you see on these very small market cap coins, or some of these that come out with these high APRs. So I'll show you another example is Epsilon. This is from a farm that keeps putting their layers out where they keep putting different farms out. So basically this is one of their multiple farms that they have. And you can see this is the pre-sale. So if you could have got it here at 20 some dollars, you potentially could have rolled this up. And you can probably tell where farming starts. This big red line down is probably when the farming starts, and people are getting rewards. So they're getting those high APRs and they're harvesting their profits and then they're selling them on the market. And what happens is the price typically tanks. You get a couple rebounds, maybe a flat spell for a little bit, but overall it just dwindles down and dwindles down and dwindles down. So that is one of the strategies I did want to bring up. So if you can get this in the pre-sale and get a decent price, sometimes you can be in profits before the farming even starts. So like, let's say I got it at $26, $27. It was all the way up to almost $100. So at that point, I could sell a good chunk of that and be in profit. Then I also have the opportunity, since I got in at such a low price, there's less risk for me to be farming, because I don't have to worry about it going down and me losing so much money. What my strategy is with these pre-sales is, if I get a decent pump where it goes up a good amount, I like to sell at minimum enough to get my initial back, maybe if I can take a little profit as well, and then potentially ride some into the farm. If I'm not feeling confident about it, I'll just sell it all. So there's potential to make profit a couple times. You could do it before the coin launches farming and when it launches farming. And then if you want, you could always try to avoid this big spike down by selling out immediately. So you know that it's coming, so you might as well stop and wait for a little bit of an upswing and then get back in. Just one of the strategies I wanted to bring up, because you see this a lot where you get a big pump before farming starts, and then farming starts and it just tanks and just tanks. So look at this. This would have been a good spot to be farming in. You had a price range from $3 to $2.80. So you wouldn't have lost that much money. If it had a high APR, you could have potentially actually gained money. That's what you're looking for, is flat lines. And that's why we liked Pulsar so much, because, let's see if we can pull it up. Because we got in relatively low. I think we got in the 50s or 40s or the 60s. So we got in on the pre-sale. And then look at this range it just fluctuated in. And it did this for multiple days. So there wasn't a huge tank down, which is almost unheard of in these DeFi projects. And it just fluctuated between $69 and $100 for multiple days. Started on May 7th, went all the way to May 10th before it even saw a drop. So this was a huge range of profitability. And that's why we're looking at betapulsar for our next farming gem. Still planning on making a video about it. Hopefully I'll get that out tomorrow, 2 days before farming starts on that. Price right now is only $29. So potentially we could see a pump before farming starts, and we'll see. So moral of the story is, the strategy is try to get the pre-sale at a reasonable price, hope for a pump, either sell a good portion or sell all of it, or if you do sell a portion, maybe you let some ride into the farm, but be very careful of that initial dump, because they dump hard a lot of times. One of the things I also wanted to bring up here was a little trick using this PooCoin thing. So if you look at this address here, this last part is the contract address. So remember when we had to copy and paste the contract address to get it into pancakeswap? Well, you can copy that same address, and if it is a coin that has history, you can usually swap that out, hit enter, and it should find it based on the contract address. So very useful site PooCoin has become. I know it's a funny name, but very useful. So that's what I felt like it was important to bring up. So I talked about how price drops so fast after farming starts, and that's an important factor. I talked about how potentially you can get into a pre-sale at a low price and ride it up into profits before farming starts, sell out some of it, and potentially ride some of that into farming. Very good position to get in if you can get into a low price pre-sale. It really helps out with these things. I also covered how to harvest your rewards and split your LP tokens back up into equal parts and basically cash out and what to look for going down. One of the things I also wanted to bring up was another trick here. So I think that's it. You got any questions? You got any comments? Leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to join up on the Discord. If you want to join the Patreon, feel free. The link for all that is in the description. Let me know what you think. Till next time, later.